I'm Nancy Kiernan, International Living's Colombia Correspondent. And today's video is something that we all love, food. So I'm going to talk to you about the food of Colombia. Well, for starters, let's say, when you think of international food, what countries come to mind? Usually Italy and Spain and France. Not so much Colombia. But that doesn't mean that we don't have some great food. It's just very unique, it's very regional, and it's actually not all that well known outside of the country. What is known is what we drink, and that's coffee. Now, I don't even like coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm surprised they let me move to this country. But Colombia is world-renowned for its coffee. Colombia grows 100% Arabica beans, and the primary area in the country is what's known as Eje Cafetero, which is the coffee axis or the coffee triangle. And the largest cities in that area are Armenia, Manizales, and Pereira. So the climate there is perfect for growing the world's best coffee. It has the right amount of rainfall, it has the right amount of sunshine. The soil is partially volcanic, which apparently is very important to growing great coffee. It has the right amount of sunlight, and the temperatures are perfect. They're probably mid-70s during the day and lower 60s in the evening in that area. So that is where some of the best coffee is grown. Now, we also have coffee grown all throughout the whole country, and it's actually a little bit like wine. My coffee expert friends tell me that you can get single source beans from various areas around the country, and they all taste different. And in some cases, you can even tell if it's grown at a lower altitude or a higher altitude, or if it's grown on the left side of the mountain or the right side of the mountain. And so for the coffee connoisseurs that really want to check out specific types of beans in specific regions, you can get single origin coffee beans here. So that's kind of what Colombia is best known for. So I'm going to let you in on some of the things that you might not know about food in Colombia. Well, first of all, the country of Colombia is rather large. It's the size of Texas and California combined. So, as with most places, food is regional. On the Caribbean coast, in the cities of Santa Marta and Cartagena, it's pretty much anything seafood. They make ceviche, they catch fresh fish off the waters, and you can buy it right off the docks, right off the beaches, and you can cook your meals with that. So the coast is known for pretty much anything seafood. As you come into the mountain areas, different areas have different types of signature dishes. In Bogota, which is the country's capital, they have Ahiako. And Ahiako is, think thin stew or thick soup. So it's made with chicken and corn and vegetables and cilantro. And then usually on the side, it's also served with avocado and rice. And what I like to do is I like to mix the rice in with the broth and make it even thicker and more stew-like. So that's a signature dish that is known in the capital of Bogota. Where I live in Medellin, we have bandeja paisa. Paisa is the word for the locals that live here. And bandeja means platter. So it's a platter of food that's about this big with chicharron, which is pork belly, ground beef, rice, avocados, plantains, beans, fried egg. It's an enormous platter. And the history behind that is that a lot of the area around where I live had farmland. And so the farmers would need a really, really good hearty meal to hold them up during a long day of working in the fields. So they would get these meals wrapped up in banana leaves, and they would go out into the countryside and they would work, and this would be their lunch. and it would have enough calories and sustenance to hold them through the whole day. So if you do come to Colombia and you do come to Medellin and you decide to try a bandeja paisa, you either need to be very hungry or you need to share it with a friend. So what other types of foods? Well, we have our version of empanadas, which are corn-based crust with either beef or chicken or potatoes inside, and they're fried. And empanadas can be found all throughout Latin America, and every country and every region within the country sort of have their own special spin on them. We have patacones, which is one of my favorite things. Patacones are squished plantains. A plantain is it kind of looks like a banana, but it's not a fruit, it's a vegetable. And so you slice them into chunks about this thick, and you fry them a little bit, and then you take them out, and then you squish them flat, and then you fry them again, and then you put salt on them when they come out, or a little bit of ajo, which is like a garlic type mix. And that's one of my favorite things to eat. Another thing that we are known for is our street food. And again, that is very regional. If you go up into if you go back to the coast, there's something called butifada. And butifada look like little meatballs, and maybe about this big. They're little meatballs, and they're made with pork and beef, and they are they're baked or broiled, and they are served on a plate with lime, and you squeeze lime juice on top of it, and that's a great street food. Another street food that may be a little hard to take is something called hormigos culones, which means ants with a big butt. This is a delicacy, especially in the mountain area of the city of Bucaramanga, and but you can find them sold pretty much throughout Colombia. The peak time is they come out in April and May, and that's when they're harvested and they're fried. I can tell you that I have never tried them. It is not my intention to ever try them, but if you feel adventurous, you should too. Some enterprising Colombians will sell them in little plastic bags at the stoplights. So if you're sitting there waiting for the light to turn green, somebody may come up and tap you on the window and hold up a bag of ants with large butts. So that's a very interesting street food. And throughout the country, you know, there are all types of little nuances for, you know, this homemade recipe for this or this homemade recipe for that. And that's one of the great and unique things about coming to Colombia, is that if you're a little adventurous and you want to try local things, you know, the large restaurants are great, but if you go into the small little pueblos and the little corner places and you see what types of food they serve, then you really get to eat like the locals. Well, that being said, the larger cities like Bogota and Medellin have a very large gastronomy scene. So you can find pretty much any type of food that you want here. You can find great Italian food, you can find German food, you can find sushi, you can find Mediterranean, Spanish food. There are French restaurants, everything from steakhouses to gourmet hamburger joints to gourmet pizza places. So coming to Colombia, my suggestion is, while you can eat pretty much anything you want, you really should take the time to search out some of the local delicacies and the local specialties. It'll really be worth your while. Thanks for watching, and hasta luego.